To the Now Share with Dr. Dave podcast. This is episode number 65 with Dennis Torres and Kristian Mtetwa. And we're going to be talking about shifting your context to financial freedom. How are you guys doing?
Phenomenal. Doing awesome.
Yeah?
Great. Yep.
Good. So how did you get into this profession?
Well, first of all, I'd like to thank you, Dr. Dave, for giving us the opportunity today to give a talk with you and put us on your podcast. I know you've been doing some wonderful things. I'm really excited for today. Real quick, how I got started, my brother actually was the first one who introduced me to this business. He had just recently moved over to California, seeking another job, another opportunity over there in California, and he found himself actually looking for another job within the year. He got introduced to the company called World Financial Group, and he was really, really excited. I remember him giving me a call and telling me all about this new financial business that he got into. And he was really wanted to show me what it was about. The thing about it is my brother and I, we had actually done some businesses prior before. So, the truth is I was a little bit hesitant, on what he was getting into. We did decide to finally meet together. He came down to the house. He sat down, my wife and I and myself, and he basically showed us not only how he helps families, but he introduced me to that business right then and there. Right away, I could tell that it was something very different than what me and him had ever done before. And I really got really interested right away in the presentation, in the mannerisms that I had seen my brother. I had never seen him before at such exceptional level of professionalism that he had become. And so I got interested, and then he invited me to one of his open houses. And right away, I got to see the potential impact that we would have on real life people, in their finances and how they would be able to structure their future a lot better. So that really grabbed my attention. But the biggest thing that grabbed my attention was the potential to start my own business in the finance industry, and that was actually a secret that I held inside of me, that I always thought of maybe one day being a financial planner, a wealth manager, out there, kind of like the Wall Street type of industry, right? But the company that he introduced me was a lot different than that, and I think it was a little bit more intimate, a little bit more personal. So I actually enjoyed that a lot more. So I got on full time right around October of 2017, and haven't looked back since.
Nice. How's my
Christian?
So do I say Christian or Christian?
Christian.
Christian.
You can be fancy if you want.
You're going to be fancy with Christian?
Yeah.
Someone told me to call you Christian.
Oh. Whoever that was, I don't know what they were doing, but no, for me it was more. I got into business very young, and so I actually interned with the firm. I grew up in Nashville, and so I went to pretty good private school in my opinion, and my dream school was always USC. So for those that know the stigma around USC, it's really hard to get into, number one, but also very expensive. And so I was kind of searching for a way to really make myself look attractive to USC. And so right around the summer going into my senior year of high school, I got an internship opportunity with the company. I almost kind of disqualified myself because I said, oh, well, I'm not 18 yet. Is that heard? So, but no, they gave me kind of an interview. They met with me, my mom, my family about 3 times before they really gave me a shot. And since then, it was kind of a learning opportunity for me. While I was going to school, kind of getting used to everything, I wanted to learn a lot because who doesn't want to learn about money?
Yeah.
What then ended up happening is I didn't get into USC, but I got into the U of A, and that's how I ended up in Tucson. And for me, I just kind of fell in love during my internship, right? After our last basketball season ended about March of my senior year of high school, I wanted to come back to my internship because I pretty much had nothing to do, right? All of my athletics were done. I really had months to wait to come to the U of A. And so for me, I was like, let me go back to my internship and see if I can just learn a little bit more. I'm always big on trying to get ahead of the pack, right? Mm-hmm. So the more I can learn about money, if I could learn a little bit more, sure, that's probably going to help me in the long run. So what ended up happening was I went back, but I had turned 18. And at 18, legally, you can get a license to work in the industry. And so we had a conversation and said, look, if we're willing to mentor you, train you, would you be open to an opportunity to maybe start on a part-time basis and see where it leads? And I said, heck yeah.
Yeah.
So, I've been doing it since. I love it.
Nice. So in terms of the services that you provide to help people achieve financial freedom, because we all want financial freedom, so what are the services that you provide? What are some of the things that draw people in, make them want to come in and do this?
Well, I think one of the things is that our business model is completely different from everyone else, that we're able to actually provide services that other people would never ever receive, right? There's a lot of people that will never see this information simply because for other companies, they want to be a profitable outlet, right? So for us, we take a very, very different approach in the sense that we bring the information to the people, right? We bring it to the masses. And everything that we do is on a free basis conversation, right? So we actually provide many different services, many different providers that we have access to. We have access over 150 of the top financial companies. So for us, we're able to actually tailor make our services for that individual client, right? Whatever their needs may be. So we're able to really, really drill down exactly to their needs and then find the correct fit for them. So that's what really, really sets us apart and gives us the opportunity to build a roadmap for them, right? And I know Kristian can definitely elaborate a little bit more on that.
So, and that really is what makes us special, is because you'll go to a lot of other places and they really do one thing. They do that one thing pretty well, but what if you need something different? It's almost like a size 12 shoe. And I wear a 10 and a half now, or 11, but if it's not a 12, then they're just going to try to force me in a shoe that doesn't work. So we do everything. Our firm is pretty awesome in that we have access to hundreds of different companies, thousands of different accounts, anywhere from debt resolution plans, obviously life insurance, asset management. We work to preserve wealth as well. We obviously, if you can do everything right financially, you're going to have an estate worth preserving. So we want to make sure that Uncle Sam gets the least, right, and then your family gets the most if that's at all possible. So literally anything there is out there, from tax-free, tax advantage, tax-deferred saving plans, retirement, college funding. There's pretty much almost nothing with money we can do.
So the big thing with most people, no one really wants to talk. There's a certain fear or stigma about discussing and learning financial topics. Why do you think people are so fearful about that discussion?
It's funny because I think it depends a little bit on how you grow up, what your relationship is with money. In my opinion, if you have a bad relationship with money, whether it's about speaking with an advisor or a planner, the conversation about money in general is just bad. And so they don't want to talk about it, it's kind of personal, they want to stay in their shell, just hope they're doing things all right. But, I think if people just get to a point where, okay, it's almost like the elephant in the room, everything kind of goes off of money, right? I wear clothes, I put gas in my car, I eat food, so we're going to have to talk about this at some point. You want to retire, we should probably talk about how much money you're going to need to retire too. Yeah. So I think that's a big part, is the relationship that people have with money hasn't always been the best.
Yeah, and that's for sure.
And touching on that from my experience as well, I think a lot of the times is that people have the fear of the unknown, basically, right? So a lot of people, they know that they have some problems or some situations that they need help on, some solutions that they need help on. But for the first thing is they really don't know who to reach out to, right? Mm-hmm. And from the experiences that they might have, good or bad experience with money, they might have had, certain people that have came into their lives and probably have promised them certain things, and then it doesn't pan out. So that always has a factor in there. But it's always the fear of the unknown. So they have a fear of exactly where they're at. They also have a fear of actually talking about that, right? And then actually the fear of well, what if there isn't a solution that is out there? You know what I'm saying? So we really, really cater to the people in a very, very non-threatening conversational type of way. We have a very easy conversation. We're not out there trying to do any fancy words or anything like that. And we want to show them that we're just people just like they are. We've had our own struggles as well. A lot of things that we're learning, we're also implementing in our lives as well. But the bottom line is once people get through, they get to see that all that fear was really in their head. It's really never as bad as they think, and there's always something out there, regardless of their situation. So for us, it's just getting past that. It's getting past that initial fear, or where people put up a natural wall, a natural wall of I don't know you, you don't know me type of thing. So those are some of the things that we really work on, to make sure that we develop relationship with people.
It's great that you talked about wall, because the next question that we want to get to is what barriers do you often encounter when sharing financial dreams with people?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
So I mean, one of the biggest barriers though is that first of all is obviously the skepticism, right? It's the skepticism, because we show them such solutions that a lot of times they almost feel like it's too good to be true type of thing, right? But the other barrier is that a lot of people have never really sat down and thought about their future, right? So when we get to show them, not only show them, but actually stretch their vision, stretch their dreams a little bit more, right? They kind of feel like, whoa, that's almost unattainable.
Yeah.
And then we kind of show them like, no, it really is.
Right.
But we show them how easily attainable this is, right? And so a lot of the times is they haven't had that vision to show them this is what's possible, right? So we got to get past that when we show them. We got to get past it. Not only is it possible, but this is how easy it is to implement that. So it goes a little bit back on fear, and fear of doubt, fear of not the unknown, right? And we just show them, you just got to make certain changes. And I think that's the other thing is people generally fear change, right?
Well, they don't want to change.
They don't want to change. That's the other thing. They gotta be willing to want to change as well, right? That's the biggest part of it.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, I couldn't have put it better myself. I think the mind limits itself sometimes, and so people just don't think certain things are possible.
Yeah.
And so, oh man, I can never be rich. Oh man, I'm gonna work for the rest of my life. Forget retirement, man. What is that, right? My kids, student loans is the only option they have, right? I'm gonna go ahead and bite that bullet, or scholarships if that's available to them. So just sharing with them that the idea that, look, you can pay for all this stuff in cash if you plan ahead accordingly, that's possible. And there's plenty of people, and it's not just the top 1 to 5% of Americans that are doing it. Plenty of people do it. It just takes the proper education, planning, all this stuff has to be there ahead of time, right? Before you try to it's kind of like running into a forest blind, right? No map, no GPS. Of course you're not gonna have any idea where you're going, but to know that, hey, there is a light at the end of the tunnel, and if you get a good GPS, yeah, you can get there. It's just about knowing it's possible.
Yeah, for sure. And so what kind of techniques or tools do you use to help people get beyond the fear of finances? Because it's kind of like public speaking.
And this is one of the questions that I had a little bit of, not trouble, but it was kind of, in a sense that we really, obviously the tools that we use the state of the art tools with companies that we represent, right? But really there isn't really one straight technique as far as, we use just this one cookie cutter way. But I can tell you that one of the biggest things that we try to establish right away is trust, right? Mm-hmm. So we really go with really meeting the people face to face and having that first connection and making sure that we have a genuine connection, a human to human connection, and then build that trust from there, because we do understand that this is finances, this is people's personal life, right? This is people's personal, path that they want to take, and because of their experience, we know that they might be hesitant. So we really want to show them that we are real people, that we do have real struggles, right? So we want to build that trust with them and show them we really do care about it. We have a saying that people don't really care how much you know until they know how much you care.
Yeah.
Right. So we want to build that with them, right? And obviously the tools that we have are second to none in the industry. We have the best companies. We have Nationwide. We have Pacific Life. We have some of the top companies in the world that provide us all the tools necessary to really provide, the best solution possible.
I'm actually so glad you said that, because trust is, I think in any real working relationship, especially in the people business, is you don't have trust, you don't have a business. And so building off of that, no, it's the trust, right? If you don't have trust, people are already trying to size you up. You know what I mean? But if you can build enough trust to where somebody's at least willing to have an honest conversation with you, I'll honestly say I like to be real with you, right? They say real friendships, real business relationships. If you're just open and honest, so a lot of times it might be tougher than in other situations, but to be very clear and honest with somebody, look, if you don't do something, I don't care if it's with me or somebody else, because don't get me wrong, there's a lot that we can and can't do, but if you don't do something, this is the road that you're going to be down, right? And let's address it, right? Do you want to retire? Do you want your kids to go to college? If something were to happen to you, what happens to the rest of your assets? Let's just address that now. Let's have a real honest conversation. And a lot of times when people step back and let their emotions aside and really start looking at, okay, yeah, this is what's going to happen, it kind of opens them up to, okay, let me at least see if this makes sense for me.
Yeah, very good. Yeah. So let's talk about one of the success stories that you're really proud of. If you could share that.
Right.
So, you don't have to really.
It's so tough because I love all our clients. Our clients, because it is going back to the trust thing, right? We build such relationships with them, and these are real people. We're real people too.
Yeah.
And so building relationships with our clients, every financial situation is different. Everybody has different goals. It would be ridiculous to try to put everybody in one certain box that's the same cookie cutter. But I really think it's the fulfillment of changing someone's life whether they're a client of ours in terms of having one of our products or accounts, just the fact that we teach them something that nobody else is willing to teach them. I've got a couple interns working with us from a couple college campuses around the country, and me myself, right, nothing bad against that institution or the system altogether, but there's certain things that we learn that maybe in the real world, some cases we'll use, but not always like every day this is applicable. And some of the stuff that we teach is stuff that nobody's ever heard of ever in their lives, right? Through school, through their parents, through friends, through research. And just the idea, in my opinion, of being able to teach somebody something that they're obviously going to need to know for the rest of their life. And if it hadn't been for us or our firm, who's going to do that's a lot of fulfillment.
Yeah, to get you guys to come to help me out with 5 Saturdays.
Maybe so. Hopefully.
And for me, you know, that was a hard thing to choose to pick one specific client, because, you know, I have countless of stories where I've sat down with families who really, you know, at that point of their life kind of had lost hope, you know. And so for me, the biggest thing I'm proud of is being able to show them that hope is there and provide them that light at the end of the tunnel, and show them that even though in the past there have been many companies that come but couldn't help them out in some way, right? I have the power of choice where I can go through as many different companies and say, okay, well, this one isn't working, this one is. But when I see them, you know, and I see that now, I guess that burden has been lifted off of their shoulders, right? You know, and they have a plan, they have a vision, they have hope for the future. That's what really has got me, you know, in this business, right? You know, we definitely started off with the idea of, you know, we're going to make some serious money, right? But then it moves when you sit down with real life people, right? And you see how, you know, they're struggling financially, and you're able to provide something real for them, something tangible for them, right? Now that goes from your head to your heart. Now I'm like, wow, this is meaningful, right? And I have countless of stories of families that I wish I could have gotten to them earlier, and unfortunately I did not, right? So I do use those families as an example, but I do have one particular client that I remember. He was a family member, actually a cousin of my wife, and once I sat down and implemented, you know, a roadmap for his future, the one question that I asked him, I said, you know, well, how do you feel now, right? And he's a former Marine, so in his Marine language, you know, he said, you know, well, I could tell you right now that if I went out there and somebody took me out, my family's going to be okay.
Yeah.
Right? So that, to me, I was like, that was, you know, in a nutshell, the response that I want. I want people to know that should anything happen to them, right? It's not, you know, we definitely want to get to our old age, want to get to, you know, through time. We want to live that life, but if should something happen, you don't have to worry what's going to happen to your family, right? What's going to happen to your loved ones. So that's basically the biggest thing that I'm proud of, you know.
So what do you want people to learn and do after listening to your story, you know, to this podcast? What do you want them to do?
Honestly, just step outside the box. I think people get too stuck in their comfort zone sometimes, me included, to be honest with you. And I think if people intentionally stepped outside and said, maybe reaching out to a professional is great. And obviously you could reach out to us, we're very open to that. But at the end of the day, we're always presented opportunities, and we're always trying to learn, right? If people stay in the mindset where I'm willing to learn, I'm willing to grow, they say the moment you stop growing, you're dying.
Yep.
I think you're pretty much dead if you stop learning, right? Or you stop growing. Because altogether, now where are you? Your life is completely stagnant. You know what I mean? So if people can get out of their comfort zone in the sense of having a better relationship with money altogether, and then 2, remaining open to the possibility, maybe I need an advisor, maybe I need a plan, maybe I need to listen to someone that's trying to give me a little bit of advice, but also heeding that advice, right? Looking at the facts. But then 2, realize things are possible. It doesn't matter what your goals are, there's probably somebody on this planet that's done it. And if they did it, you could probably do it too. It's just a matter of understanding and getting the mindset, this is possible. I can do it. Nothing worth having is ever easy, but it is possible. And if I have the right opportunities, right, we could all be at the right place at the right time, but they say if you're the wrong person, you'll miss that opportunity. So when those opportunities come up, keep an open mind, right, and then take advantage of it where you see them. All
right, and for me is, you know, a few things, right? Number one, I want people, you know, listening, and also if they see us, if we come in contact with them, and we build a friendship relationship, I want people to know right away is we're not here to sell anything to anybody, right? That's the number one thing, right? We're not here to sell anybody anything. We're here to educate people, right? We're here to really, really educate them on what's possible, right? We want them to know what the possibilities are, And no matter where they're at in their life, whether it's good, right, or whether it's bad, right, there's still possibilities of things that can happen. You got to prepare for both of those, right? If you're in a great situation, if you're in a good situation, we can make it better. But not only that, we can maintain it so that something happens, it doesn't make it a bad situation, right? But if you're in a bad situation, we could definitely make it where it become a great situation. Where you improve your life, right? Improve your future. And I want people to know, we talk about this all the time. We're not here to sell anything to anybody, because I don't have to convince somebody that they should save money for a rainy day, right? I don't have to convince somebody that they should save money for their retirement so they're not back at work at age 85, right? You know what I mean? I don't have to convince somebody that they should set money aside, for an emergency, right? I don't have to convince somebody that, hey, you should really get out of debt, right? Those are the things that we provide. And like Kristian said earlier, whether you do business with us or not, that's irrelevant. We just want you to get that education so that you can implement something, right? And knowledge is power, but only halfway. You got to apply that knowledge, right? So if you see Kristian and I either in this, out and about in a restaurant, on the streets, or you see us in the office and things like that, and we approach you, right? Don't be afraid of us, right? We're just regular people, right? We're not seeing you guys as money bags. We're just seeing you as real people, real genuine people, and we want to help you out, right? And everything that we do is definitely for the client, right? We're always looking out for them, right? Our mission is no family left behind, and we truly believe that. We embed that in all of our associates. That's the goal in every one of our associates, to make sure that they know that that here we really worry about the average people, right? We want to take care of people. We want to make sure that they know that we are not only the best in what we do, but we're the best in how much we care for people. So I want people to really take that to heart. I want them to understand that we're here for them, right? And we'll make things happen.
Cool. So, website, Twitter, LinkedIn. What do you want? Just one or two places that people could go to and reach out to you.
He calls me his millennial, so I'm like 50 and he's ready to go.
Why? You only need one.
So, my Instagram is my last name. Instagram's a really, I guess, in my generation, it's my last name _ so MTETWA_. Then I'm on LinkedIn too, so Kristian with a K, not a CH, KRISTIAN, and then MTETWA. LinkedIn and my Instagram is probably the best places to find me.
Okay.
Yeah, and for me, probably right now the best place to find me is definitely Facebook. Is just my name, Dennis Torres. I do have a WFG specific website on Facebook that once they click on my profile, they can also find that page as well. And then on Instagram, I'm just as you can tell, I'm not the millennial as he is, right? So I'm trying to find what my Instagram name is, right?
Or you can just send it to me and I'll put it on the
on the screen or something.
You can put it on the screen, right?
Yeah.
So
He has an
I think I do have it. Yeah. Well, I'll send it.
We're working on it.
Yeah. You're trying to get it to tap in.
Trying to get that to that level.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. So I definitely. Let me see if I can find it. How do you find that?
Don't worry about it. We'll get it later.
Perfect.
Thank you so much, Dennis, Kristian, for coming in and sharing with our audience. Hopefully they will heed your calling and they will take some steps forward.
Absolutely.
No, thank
Maybe
you.
even me.
We appreciate it. That would be awesome too. But like he said earlier, I want to thank you as well as far as letting us on. Obviously, this is your platform. It's an amazing platform. But thank you to share our message and have a good conversation with you. We really appreciate it.
And this is how we want to do it, right? We want to make sure that we get as many people, involved in hearing our message, because we work word of mouth, right? That's how we make connections, right? We make real human connections. So we're just always looking for people to listen to what we have to say, and if they can't take advantage of it, well, you might know somebody that really needs that help.
Well, I hope so.
All right,
appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Psychedelic feelings, I can't please myself. Changes in my visions running wild in my head. Feeding on my madness, releasing myself. Can I get a witness to convince someone else? A psychedelic feeling can please myself. Changes in my visions running wild in my